Okay, everybody, let's get going on this meeting. I'm so glad to see everybody here today. I sent out a question, which I still forgot to get. So I'm going
I got it.
I'm going to rely on you for that. I sent out a question. It's just a scenario that I picked up on Reddit, and it was short, sweet, and I thought I'd send it out and ask everyone to come up with 3 questions that would be relevant to this little scenario, and then use those questions as the positions for a 3-card spread, just to see what would happen and how we might all come up with something different. So I will go ahead and start. I hope Anne Marie finds us. Yvonne found us, so Anne Marie should.
Good.
Where's I just lost my video. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I asked the question. Oh, you go ahead and read the question, if you will.
Okay, so the question was, I moved in with my fiance a while back, and until recently, we have worked in the same town. I started a new job a few months ago where I was able to promote 30 minutes away. I am contemplating coming back to my old position. Is that weird? Pay and schedule would be the same either place. Please help. That's a question.
Okay, that's kind of odd. Yeah. Hi, Anne Marie. She found us. So
Hi, Lynn.
Hi. So what I did was, I looked at that question, and yes, it's weird. But what I thought of for me was, first and foremost, why after just a few short months would he give up a better job with better prospects? I just didn't understand why he would do that. I mean, he talks about the fiance, he talks about the distance and all that, but why give up, a better job? And is he doing it for himself, or is he doing it for her? And finally, is he going to be happy if he goes back to that other job? So I pulled 3 cards, and I pulled them from the Morgan Greer deck. And the first card that I got, if I can get it off the computer, the first card that I got was the Magician. And, we all know that the Magician is, very resourceful, has everything they need to move forward, to be successful. But this guy can also be a trickster. And I just can't help but wonder if these people had a position they need filled, and he was kind of the sucker that got sucked into the hype and the hyperbole of the situation, and he jumped at it, but it wasn't quite everything that they said. That's kind of what I'm wondering. Or if maybe he just got there and just doesn't like the people. The second thing I wanted to know was why, what is it, him or is it him or is it his girl? Which one is it? Why is he leaving? And I got the 7 of Swords. Now, to me, the 7, and by the way, Anne Marie, I've got 2 of you. There's 2 of you.
Okay. Yes, I got rid of one of me.
Okay. And so the 7 of Swords to me is all about deceit. And sometimes people are just deceive us or lie to us. Sometimes we're just deceiving ourselves. And I just can't help but wonder if he's using the girlfriend, he's using the distance on the job, if he's using everything else to justify not having to stand up and say, I failed, I made a mistake. So my last question was, if he goes back to the job, is he going to be happy? And I pulled the 10 of Swords. So I think that's like no, he's not going to be happy going back. So if he were sitting in front of me today, I'd probably be advising him to stick it out or find ways, or at least try to figure out why he's so unhappy where he is, because he wouldn't be coming back if he wasn't unhappy. All right, that's me. That's it. Who's next?
Do you want me to go?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Well, I asked the question too. The big thing that stuck in my head was is this weird? And it just kind of like, why are you asking me if it's weird? So what was the main reason why he felt that it was weird? And I pulled the 7 of Wands, which says there were obstacles. There's other obstacles that we may not be knowing or he may not coughed up to tell us exactly all of the pieces. So, which led me to the question, how important is this fiance? How demanding? Is it all about the fiance? And I get the emperor, which says a lot, heavy duty, very important. And then I asked, so what should happen if he does come back and take that position? And I got the Queen of Pentacles, which says to me it's a better fit. Or this is his girlfriend, and she's saying she wants him back. It's all about her. And okay, 3 cards wasn't enough. I needed to do more. I wanted to start doing clarifiers. Give me a break.
Of course you do. You're the clarifying queen.
I know. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Cool. Who's next? Anne Marie?
Okay. He says here that pay and schedule would be the same on either place, at either place. So there's nothing there to indicate that anything is better in one place than the other. So I asked, first of all, what type of energy is around the situation? What's driving this, or what's leading him to be thinking, should this happen? And for that, I got the 8 of Wands. Now, the 8s are about advancement, but in this particular case, looking at that, I felt it was about scattered energy. Uncertainty, everything being up in the air, him wondering, how is this going to work out? Have I made the right? Everything is up in the air about him. So that's what I got for that. The next question I asked was, what might you experience if you move back into your old position? And the card I got was the 5 of Swords. Now, 5s are about change. And the first thing that struck me was, things mightn't be the same if he moved back. The same personnel mightn't be there. He mightn't have the same position he had before. Things might not be just as he thought they might be. And the Swords are unpleasant mental experiences. He might find backbiting, disillusionment, unpleasantment, and maybe things have changed since he went away. So I drew another one there to ask, what might he experience if he moved on, if he stayed where he was, or he stayed in his new position? And I got the 6 of Wands. Now, the 6 of Wands is the Lord of Victory, harmony following upheaval, contentment on some level. So overall, I looked at the whole thing. In the meantime, I did the pendulum, as Lynn was saying the last time. I used the pendulum. Should you stay there? Should you move back? No. Should you stay where you are? Yes. And I used it for the center card about the energy of it. Is there more to this? Because like you, I thought, this is weird. What else is going on here? I said, is this all about the job, or is there someone else involved? And I got, no, this is all about the job. So I didn't go any further. So the summary was, the initial 5 of Swords for change was necessary and important to enable him to achieve the advancement that he was promised by the 8 of Swords, and thus restoring the harmony with the 6 of Wands to the situation. And my answer would be, stay where you are. That's going to work out.
Yay! That's great.
Okay, Kate.
Well, when I looked at the question, I was kind of really caught once again that this is weird, which tells me that there's a conflict mentally around social expectations. So I kind of took it from there. And the first card that I drew was the 4 of Cups in a reversed position. I know I'm the only one here that reads reversals, but this really tells me that it's an emotional thing. He is caught in a point of ambivalence. So there's this profound sense of unease, apathy of ambivalence, disappointment. So there's something going on here, and it just strikes me as the man caught between, the 2 horns. Job and home life or romantic life seem to be in some kind of conflict, but I think it's subconscious in his own mind, and this is what he needs to take a look at. And so my next question would be if you got any allies, or what's going on here, or what's the positive forces that are going with you. And the next card I got was the Chariot card, and archetypically the Chariot card is the hero trapped, which I think really kind of or it's the illusion of the hero trapped, because he's not really trapped. It's kind of like the major arcana version of the 8 of Wands, or 8 of Swords, I mean. And so this whole idea, this energy, this creative spirit that has to move forward, but can only be controlled by the discipline of will. And it's energy that can't be stopped. So he has to deal with this, and he has to deal with this subconscious urge or come to some kind of resolution, because if he doesn't, which is my third card, it is the Tower. And of course, we all know that it is the archetype of disaster and brutal trials, i.e. the Book of Job. So my advice to him is that he needs to take some time and find out what is really kind of bubbling under the surface in the subconscious. And that will give him, as soon as he can figure out whether it's home and this new moving in, because we all know it's one thing to be in love with somebody, it's another thing to live with them. Or is it the job, like Lynn said, is it he been sold a bill of goods, or is he really happier in the other one? And until he has more sense to what he's dealing with, and I take it that this is one of these really hard shadow cards that is very hard for us to look at what is there in the shadow. So I would take it from there. And at that point, indeed, the spirit of D, I would be saying, I'd be pulling a Celtic Cross's clarifier in order to see if it teases more out for him as to what direction he wants to look at. That's my 2 cents worth.
Yay.
Yay, good job.
Hey, Anne Marie, I can see your face on your regular computer. Your iPhone is still on. It's still showing up.
Okay. Do you know, I'm having trouble with
No.
my
Now I
computer.
Now I see you on both.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with my computer, and it just came right. So I was afraid to knock off the iPhone in
No.
case I ended up with nothing. But I'll knock it off now.
Okay.
I thought I had knocked it off.
Yvonne. Hi.
Hey,
I know
hey.
you're kind of a late entry to this meeting, because you were not going to be here, and then you broke your hand. Oh my God. Are you okay? Did you
No,
fall?
Oh,
I'll live, you know. It's just, in the meantime, it's owie. Yeah, I broke my wrist in like 4 different places.
oh my gosh.
Did you have
I
to have
know, but-
surgery?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was September 6th, I think. So
Oh my gosh.
remember me on September 6th.
Okay.
Send that energy, I'll be needing it.
We'll be
Of course,
doing that.
because my family's teasing me and telling me that they're going to turn me into like a superhero, supervillain, put in metal in my hand, and I don't know.
Wow.
Are you
So-
right-handed? Are
I
you
am
right-handed?
I am right-handed.
Oh, now you're ambidextrous. Well, there you
Exactly. By the end of this, I'll be ambidextrous.
You will.
Throwing cards with both hands, baby.
So
Anyway,
go. Yay.
we won't hold you to this if you weren't, because you weren't supposed to be here today, but did
It's
you have
okay.
a chance? Okay.
let me tell you.
Okay.
Things happen. All right. So without really giving it too much thought, I said, fondue, I'm gonna throw some cards and see what happens. And then I'll
Yay.
hear, and then I'll see, you know, if it makes sense. Well,
Right.
okay. The question about this fella, should I stay or should I go? You know, between jobs, between love, all this stuff. Okay. First card I pulled was the 7 of Pentacles. Okay.
Oh,
Or-
Yeah.
believe in himself.
Yeah. So this guy is,
Yeah.
I mean, he's really having a hard time here.
Yeah.
Does he really want to leave the new fabulous job, or is he just doing a, you know, one of those things that I'll self-sacrifice for my situation? Okay.
Mhm.
So it would seem to me that you know, he was good at what he did in both places. But he's not really 100%. That's where is it weird? Yeah,
Yes.
it's not necessarily that it's weird, but it's like you need to really think, because the second card came up. And my question to the second card is like, well, is this really about the job, or is it about the relationship?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
Yeah. The Ace of Swords.
Ace
Double
of
edge, baby, double edge. Okay. And, is he sacrificing everything for this relationship? And is this relationship really, that solid? Well, the swords kind of tells me that maybe not so much. So wait a minute, think about this job situation. Okay. Last card. Okay. Last card.
She's making it
I thought
dramatic
to
for
myself,
us.
Yeah,
of
I love
course,
it.
gotta make it
love it.
dramatic. Last card. Okay, what happens if you don't take that job and you stay where you're at and you work things out? The wheel. The wheel. Okay. So there's a lot to be said with the wheel. It's like you have a lot of opportunities where you're at right now.
Mhm.
I mean, you're getting paid more money. It's a better job. You left the old job. Why? Because you wanted to.
Right.
But all of a sudden this changed and you
Mm.
wanted, and now someone's trying to pull you back. Do you take that old job? Why? When you have a perfectly good job and you have an opportunity to advance. My recommendation, without having to pull another card, would be think about this. Think about this situation. Think about your relationship. Have a sit down and a heart to heart with your beloved and lay out the truth.
Mhm.
You feel weird about leaving your new job. You feel weird about going back. So stop feeling weird and just talk, because communication is right now, I think communication is the key to your answer.
Yeah.
And yeah, and if you wanted to lay down some more cards to just clarify and just get that solid, then yeah, I would probably do more if I was sitting down in front of this person and reading. Yeah.
Oh, I think we all would. Yeah.
Good job.
After listening to everybody and especially Yvonne, I didn't put as much stock into him not wanting to leave. I was leaning more toward him wanting to come back and wanting to justify it. But after hearing all this, it's like, yeah, I mean, well, first and foremost, we all think it has a lot to do with the girl. And you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. So, I think that, I think I was thinking he was pushing toward one direction and trying to justify it, but it sounds more from this like there's a better chance that he probably doesn't want to leave and is feeling weird about it. So thank you for that. That's I always love hearing other people's rendition of, we all bring a different lens. And I think also that's what I think a lot of people like to see, especially people that, come to like these YouTube things. They want to see how other readers read or what other readers are thinking. And I think we're just also different just from our experiences. We're all going to come up with something unusual. But I thought I thought Yvonne's cards were pretty amazing. But, Dee, yours too, with the throwing the Queen of Pentacles in there. That was interesting. That was an interesting twist, to it. Anybody else have any comments on this? I mean, other than the structure, just to meet on this particular reading. Any other insights? Or it's pretty simple. I tried to use something just really bone simple,
Yeah, it was good.
It was fun.
Can you see how the structure makes a difference? I mean, I'm so used to doing positions. I'm so used to, following, positions that to stop and say, wait a minute, instead of just blindly, just doing a cold reading, one card, flipping cards and seeing where it goes. Between that and having a set positions, you have this, well, stop, what questions, what's relevant here? And let's pull cards on that. And I think it's kind of a nice middle ground, don't you?
I liked it.
I did too. I did too. It made me think of, okay, what comes next? Oh, the aha moment. Yvonne, yours is great. I loved it.
Yeah, I think it's all about thinking it through, don't you? It's like
yes.
that progression instead of just answering the question, answering the position. It's like, what's the progression?
Mhm.
You know,
Well, everybody had a card that kind of made you like Kate, the chariot. What the heck? That just like, oh, there it is. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
Those
and as
kind
soon
of
as I looked at the chariot from like the archetypical energy thing where it said the illusion of the hero trapped, I went, that's my problem.
there's
This
this.
guy, he's
Right.
caught on the horns.
I
Yep.
love the tower.
Oh, the tower too.
One of my favorite cards.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things that you either deal with the tower or the tower deals with you, like those moments, right? You
Yes.
either go into it, you try to ignore it, you try to sweep it under. The chariot energy will not be stopped. Your only thing is to divert it into constructive channels, and this is what our friend is stuck with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Good
wouldn't it be
thoughts.
amazing if we could, if he could see this podcast? It's like just 5 people said, we're going to solve your problems, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't even know his name. That is so funny. And
Yeah.
yeah,
good.
and Anne Marie too put together a really nice. I like this to summarize it, you know, to bring it all together, because
Yes.
that does help a lot to bring it all into one, you know, focus and see where it goes. So that was kind of fun. It didn't take as long as we thought, you know, everybody, as you might have been worried about. So again, you know, when we have really simple questions in 3 cards, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to mess that up. So I wanted to devote a little bit of time to this meeting for Dee to talk about some new things that are going on in her life.
What?
Amazing. Tell us, Dee. Tell us what you did.
Yeah, we're all ears.
Oh yeah. Well, you know that I do readings at I've got this little farmers market that I got connected with. So I've been doing readings there. And this last weekend, here's what I did several readings. I had 4 actually and do there, but I had more people stop and ask, what is this? What does tarot do? And I think the first line out of my mouth was, well, I can't predict that you're going to win the lottery. And so don't go to the casino or whatever. But it's now they want to know if I'm going to be back the next week because they have someone else they want to bring, or I was shuffling cards and a card flew out and one woman goes, oh my gosh, is that card for me? And I went, sorry, no, it's just a card. But it has grown to where now they're waiting for me to show up. And it's been interesting, and bring their friends. And actually this next week and Sunday, I am doing 4 college students and they're all rooming together. Got any tips?
Have fun with it. You're great at what you do, Dee, so just let it roll. You're a
Use
natural.
separate decks. Maybe I'll use separate decks.
Well, I'll tell you what, I over this last month, you know, it's been amazing because, and it's been so much. I've gotten to live vicariously through you, Dee, and I'm jealous because you're up in Minneapolis, you're doing all these things. I'm on the road, but I'm not getting that one-on-one with people like I wish I had right now, and it's just too hard on the road. But you know what? One of the things that I told you back when is, you know, you've got the psychic fairs, and you're fairly new at this. I mean, just in this last month, you've put together this whole tent and all the fixings for it, and you've had to come up with your marketing and everything. And I said there's the psychic fairs, but then there's in between there's like craft shows and flea markets and the market, these little, you know, marketplaces, and the people that you get coming to these others they're almost all people that would never set foot in a psychic fair, or a holistic and wellness fair. So none of them have been subjected to tarot. Most of them have never had a tarot reading, and it's kind of a spur of the moment, you know, spend, if you will. And you know, you're here, they're here, they've got, you know, $40 in their pocket, let's go for it or whatever. And so it's been, you know, you're getting to experience that, and you're getting to share that, you know, this experience and create their first experience with tarot. And you're just the perfect person for it because you're so bubbly. But you know, but it's that's kind of important, don't you guys think, that someone's first experience at it ought to be, you know, really happy to keep, you know, I mean, there are people that have had first experiences that would never set foot back into a tarot reader's booth, you know, and
Yeah,
and that's where framing comes in, don't you guys think?
No,
Framing.
can't think of a better ambassador for tarot than Dee.
Oh, thanks.
That's true.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Dee. I have to go, you guys. I've got a little emergency going on here at home.
Okay,
So
take care. And
Good to
luck
see
with
you.
the surgery.
All
ya.
right.
We'll check
Bye.
on you.
see you next time.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye. So Anne Marie, what have you been working on lately, my dear?
I have been working on family lately. We have been inundated with visits and visitors and that, and I've hardly had time to think of tarot. So tarot is on hold for the moment.
Okay, and that happens. And sometimes we all need that. You know, Kate and I've been talking about that, about our channels and where we're going and what we're doing. And, you know, sometimes you just kind of hit a wall and you need a vacation from it. And I think it makes us stronger when we come back to it, you know?
Well, I have
So-
been doing readings for family as if they come and look for something. So I've been doing that a bit. But apart from that, the time has vanished and there's been a lot of comings and goings. So on hold is a good idea.
Do you
Yes.
find that because family members know that you read, do you find that they come to you? I mean, I know that Dee has grandchildren and kids that come to you, they come to you for that. Do you
Yeah.
find that too, Emery, in your family tree?
Not a little bit now, a little bit, but not so much. Not so much. They kind of come and they come into my room and they say, "Oh, tarot, that's good. I'd love tarot," but they're a bit hesitant.
Yeah.
So far, and I haven't encouraged them because again, they'll come if they want to. They need to come if they want to come. And
Sure.
if you kind of say, "Sit down and I'll do it," it's not quite the same. To
Right.
me, it's not quite the same. That you need to want to do it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyone, if someone does come and say to me, "Look, will you draw some cards for me?" I say, "Okay, we'll sit down in about 20 minutes. Give me a little while. We'll sit down. You think of what you want, and we'll do it in about 20 minutes." And we do that.
Right.
Gives them a little
And-
time to think it out, and then we get going.
Sure. And then there's my family. They wouldn't dare come to me. They all think I'm a nutcase.
Oh yeah, that too. That too.
Yeah, you know, one side thinks I'm a nutcase. The other side is more religious and afraid of me. So, so we've had this big, long, drawn out trip around the eastern half of the country, and we're coming to an end here in a couple of weeks. And I'm so lucky I get to go back to we're going to winter in Mission again, where the campground manager, who is a very devout religious, and she sees me as the devil incarnate. So they all think I'm evil. So as well as some lady I just found out about in the same campground that does astrology, and she's evil too. So
Well,
I guess I'll be,
if you're gonna be evil, you might as well have a duo.
Yeah.
here's the thing. You know,
Absolutely.
I had this dream where I walked in to the campground office and I set a voodoo doll with pins in it on the counter and walked out. And you know, that's not right. I mean, I need to keep the softer side. I need to, you know, be more reverent of tarot.
Is there any way, Lynn, of introducing a fun element into this? In that particular, that there's nothing heavy or no big questions being answered, just a pure fun element, so people don't have to believe in everything that's happening, you know.
Right.
I'm not sure how that would work, but it seems to me that it might be it might be a diversion for somebody or that, or of an evening in the wintertime. Tea and taro at 4 o'clock or something, when it's
Sure.
not really heavy.
That
and
would be
someone
really
wants to
great.
know.
But last year when we got there, I have this little 8x10 sign that just says, tarot reader, ask me anything, to put in the window. You know, it doesn't have a price, it doesn't have and I asked permission to put it in the window, and I asked permission to read if somebody wanted one. And she said, I'll get back to you. And she texted me instead of seeing me in person, and said no to everything. She says that we don't want no displaying of anything, and we don't want, and if somebody does ask you, we don't want you reading in the campground. And
well,
I
that's
respected that. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like people need respect, and just like I want respect. And so it's more like, and listen, I just managed the last 2 weeks that we were there, last year, I just managed to find the undercurrent, the metaphysical thing little river going on, and I didn't have time to pursue it. So I'm really looking forward to that, you know, to starting right out of the chute. And in fact, I have already been on, you know, Facebook and some other places looking for things in the Brownsville, McAllen, Mission area. Anybody out there that sees this video and has connections there, you know, I'm looking to, but I'll tell you, if I have to drive 4 hours to Austin, or 4 hours or 5 hours to Houston to do some fairs, I'll put in the time. And there's a group in Corpus Christi 2 hours away. So that, you know, that might help too, but I got to get that one-on-one, that personal contact again. In the meantime, I'm just putting stuff up on the web, you know, on the channel, and going from there. Hey, if you haven't seen it, if you girls haven't seen it already, I got together with Dr. Michelle Jacobson out of Minneapolis, and one of my favorite people that I would usually sit next to in the psychic fairs, and she has these pet pendulums out now, and I have I did a little interview with her on that, and that's up there. And then because we were talking about pendulums last time, I did a little ditty on the website recently about, or on the channel, about using pendulums for clarifiers. So that's kind of fun. Anyway, Kate, you got anything going?
Now still in research mode and sorting things out, and kind of working on what I'm going to collaborate on with whom, or what I'm going to do solo. But I'm really going to kick it into gear after Labor Day. That's when I'm gonna, vacation time is over. It's time to get down to work. Use that period energy.
I hear you.
Nice.
Well, listen, we'll all send good juju to Yvonne for this surgery. That's too bad. That's kind of a shame. But we'll keep her in our thoughts. And in the meantime, everybody have a great Labor Day weekend. And next time I see you, we're going to be in one place, and then I'll be able to do more. So that'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Anybody have anything else they need to share? No? Okay.
No,
Thanks
this was good.
Thanks.
Love
Good
to
to
see
see
you
everyone.
guys again.
We'll
Good
talk
to
to you
see
next
ya.
time. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.